Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whatever time it is, whatever you're doing. Hi, my name is Amanda Ellis and a warm welcome to my channel. Right, what we're going to be doing here today is we're going to be taking a look at the energies of the full moon in Virgo and which also coincides with the lunar eclipse. Now, I believe that this lunar eclipse is not visible everywhere. I think it's particularly visible in North America, some parts of Europe, Africa, Asia, maybe South Africa. Less so, for example, where I am in UK, but wherever you are, whether you see it, whether you don't, you're going to feel it. So I really would like to tune into what I can get linked into the coming days, all right? I know there is a lot going on in our world at the moment, things rapidly changing on a daily basis, but I'm going to encourage you, as I always do, to try to go back to yourself, your own life, your own relationships, your own healing, your own wounding, and use this period that we've got coming up to help you to evolve, move forward, let go of what you need to let go of, and prepare for coming times. Why do I say it in that way? I think more than anything, it's because I feel what follows the clearing out process and the letting go energy that this eclipse and moon is going to bring is going to be a period of what I'm calling nothingness. Now, that might sound very strange because you might say to me, what on earth are you going on about, Amanda? Everything is happening. Well, indeed, everything might be happening out there, but I'm talking about what's going on within you, okay? So I feel as though we're going to have a period that follows the clearing out and the cleansing and the purging, which is to do with a sense of expectation, anticipation maybe, but more than anything, I think if we can just sink into an energy of not knowing what the next step might look like, or thing is that needs to be done. And it's what I'm hearing is it's a pregnant pause. There's a pregnant pause that needs to happen before the new can fully arrive, okay? And I don't know about you, but I'm not very good at pregnant pauses. I'm not very good at doing nothing. I like to fill my time. I'm pretty much a doing person. So to say that there's a period coming up which is about an emptying out and a clearing out, and then to sit in that for a little while is actually quite triggering, quite triggering, I have to be honest, but that is what I am getting, okay? Now, it might not last very long, but I do feel it is profound and needs to happen. A slowing down after the clearing out. Okay, so let's just get into it, and I'm going to do something a little bit different at the start of this video. I would just like to tune in to the energies and just bring forth what needs to come without any cards, any sprays, any crystals. Let's just see from this place of surrender, welcoming in spirit, to hear what needs to be heard, to bring forth what needs to be brought forth for the days ahead. So asking, please, my guides, Archangel Metatron. I also have the energy of the crystal skull here in my hands. All the guides that work with me from the highest light and with the greatest power and with the greatest clarity. Let us just tune in, please, to these coming days and this eclipse energy. The eclipse and the Virgo full moon. What is there to say? What do people need to hear? What do people need to feel? What do people need to get ready to receive? The first image that I'm being shown is from, I believe, basketball. Not a game that I have ever played or even watched, but I'm feeling that in basketball, I'm being shown these big pairs of gloves. Or maybe it's hockey. It could be hockey, actually. I'm not sure what the game is, but it's a game where someone's got these big gloves and they are standing, I think it's hockey, and they're standing waiting to catch the ball. And they are really worried that they're going to drop the ball. So it's this anticipation of something that is going to be arriving and directed towards you for you to catch. And there's a feeling of fear that somehow I'm going to drop the ball. Yeah? So that's the first image that I'm being shown. It's a state of anticipation, preparation. I'm now also being shown, for some example, the pictures I'm being shown are from sport. I'm being shown just before you go to serve a ball in tennis. And there is that stretching up, you know, and the ball being thrown into the air, the racket going, but it's that moment just before the racket actually touches the ball. And it's also the moment just before, as I say, the ball is caught in something such as hockey. I think it's hockey, not basketball, that I'm being shown. So that's where we're at. And it's as though there is silence, there is anticipation. How is it going to go down? How is the point going to be played? The point that is going to be played is the next chapter of your life. The next thing that you do. Will you succeed? Will you fail? Will you shoot the ball into the crowd outside of the court? Or will you score an ace? Will you score a goal? Will you be able to take the ball over the line for the team? I'm now being shown the analogy of rugby, which I do know. Taking the ball over the line for the team. But it's the whole team that gets the ball there so that you have it to start with, to be able to run the glorified couple of meters. Okay. Lunar eclipse, full moon in Virgo. I'm feeling now the energy of spirit cheering you on, willing you on, wanting you to succeed. I'm now being shown that the player on the pitch is you, and the game is the game of life. I'm now being shown that there is a substitution coming in off the bench onto the field. Now, this is really interesting because the person that is coming on to be substituted is actually an aspect of you. It's as though you've been playing the game of life with a version of yourself that is spent, that has nothing else to give, that is exhausted, that might be hurt, might be injured. And the substitute that's coming on to take your place, interestingly, is actually still you. It's just another version of you. It's a more heightened version of you. It's a wiser version of you. It is also interesting. It's a version of you that has had the opportunity to speak to the captain or the manager so that you understand better the strategy that's going to help you to make the right moves and win the game. So it's like you're coming on after the period. Well, you're coming on after the period after lunar eclipse, but I still feel as though there is an energy of pregnant pause. Okay, it's like a switching out. there's a switching out of energies. The old version of you and the new version of you that wants to come online, as it were. This switching out process just takes a little bit of time to orchestrate and happen. I'm realizing this analogy of sport is absolutely perfect because, for example, something like football, when they substitute somebody on, a new player onto the pitch, sometimes, not always, the game might have to stop because somebody's been injured or something. So, yeah, I'm correcting what I'm saying. So this is the timeline. The timeline we're on is that this lunar eclipse is an opportunity for your old self that feels a bit battered, bruised and wounded for whatever reason. You might tried really hard, but you're just spent, to gracefully exit the stage, not the life, and for a newer version of you to come back into the game that has had the opportunity of being able to speak to the boss. The boss here I'm viewing as either an archangel, an ascended master, source itself, and is then revved up and able to tackle and play the game, and more than anything enjoy the game, and the game is life. But definitely there is a bit of there's a short period between these happenings. I think it all happens around the time of the corridor between lunar eclipse, full moon in Virgo, which is the same day, but then also spring equinox, and then I'm being taken to the next eclipse. Now, I believe I'm right in saying, I haven't got it to hand, but I think there is also a solar eclipse happening towards the end of the month. I think I'm right in that. Now, that would make sense to me, that the new version of you comes fully online and is activated around the time of that solar energy, the solar eclipse. So what guidance do we have here? The first thing I'm hearing is there's no point hanging on to the old version of yourself, because he or she has already really left the building in some shape or form. You are playing with an old deck of cards, and this might very well be why nothing is working. It might also be why you're struggling with the energy of absolute inertia, just not wanting to participate anymore, getting pretty I know it's easy to get despondent about the state of the world, for example, or maybe even the state of your own life. But it's as though if you've been a doer and you're able usually just to make the changes that you need to make, it's like it's been an uphill battle. And it's because there's going to be this switch, there's going to be this changeover. Now, what I'm not seeing is like a walk-in, okay, because I know this could be interpreted that suddenly we're all going to have walk-ins. No, this is an aspect of you. It's not a separate energy. It's you in a different form. It may very well be that. So I'm going to ask the question in a moment, is this happening to everybody? I'm not sure whether it's happening to everybody, but I think it's happening for the majority of people that are being drawn to this video, for example, because otherwise why would you even be watching? It's for those that have done the work, I'm hearing. It's for those that have done the work. It's also for those that have the ability to play the game going forward and see it through. Okay, so... But it's not a walk-in, it's not a separate energy, it's an aspect of you. And the only way that you can understand this is if you appreciate and acknowledge that you are a multi-dimensional self. That there are other versions of you and aspects of you that have been offline for whatever reason. Sometimes these versions of you may have been offline because you literally just were not at a level to be able to maybe carry the full frequency of what it means to be Amanda, or what it means to be George, or what it means to be Tina, or what it means to be Maureen, whoever you are, it's as though the old version of Maureen or George may very well not have been, it's like it just would have fried you. It would have fried your circuits to have had this other heightened, expanded, evolved version drop in. And it's interesting that I'm seeing it as dropping in. So, this is why the pregnant pause period is important. Yes, you need to allow some space for it to drop in. Because otherwise it's, this is Metatron here, because I can feel his sense of humour. He's saying, otherwise it's a bit like you're a moving target. He's saying, imagine it, this is Metatron, he's saying, imagine it from my perspective. I am trying to help you integrate and drop and take the old player off the pitch, which is a version of you, put the new player on, which is the new version of you. But equally, there's got to be a bit like a baton exchange between the two of you. There has to be a moment of connection and gratitude and thankfulness, etc., between these two versions. And at the moment, it's like he's saying, can you just stop? Can you just pause to allow this process? Because otherwise, it's like he says, I'm chasing you the whole time. And that's not part of the game. Okay, right. Wow, right. Well, I wasn't expecting to get that message, but it feels as though it makes sense. I feel as I'd like to pull a couple of cards actually at this point. And let's see what deck I'm called to use. I think we'll go to this one, which is the Queen of the Moon Oracle. Okay. Let's just see. This might be linked to the message I've just channeled. It might be something different. So the lunar eclipse and the full moon in Virgo. Wow. I just said to you, there needs to be an exchange. There needs to be a passing of the batons between the old you and the new you. Look at that. I know, some people could interpret that card as like, this is the hand of God, that's you reaching out. I don't think so. I mean, it doesn't mean it can't be as well, but that to me is confirming what I've just channeled. This is your old self, this is your new self. There's a merging going to happen. And interestingly, it comes in with the energy of acceptance. Again, to understand what I'm trying to say here, go back to the analogy of sport. The player, i.e. you, that has been playing the game for God knows how many years, often doesn't want to be told to go off the pitch. Maybe because they've become too tunnel visioned. I can do it. It is going to work. I've thrown everything at it. So, eventually if I just keep going along the same lines and doing the same things, I'm going to get there. No, that isn't how it works, because new remedies can't come from old ways. So there has to be an acceptance, which is that I've done what I've been able to do. This is the baton race. There's an acceptance. I'm passing it on to my higher self, but it's me. I also feel as though we're still obviously going to look like ourselves. It's not like suddenly you're going to look like a different person. And yet, I want to say, I think you will be able to see a difference with regards to the light that you carry within yourself once this exchange has taken place. And I think you see it particularly through eyes, but also through skin, just through the aura, definitely, through your presence that you hold. And we never really think about the presence that we have in life. Other people might notice our presence. And interestingly, sometimes people can be absolutely intimidated by your presence. They can be absolutely intimidated by your light. That's why people might try and take you down, or just the nasty negative stuff that will get thrown at you if you shine your light bright enough. But what that actually triggered about is your overall presence. So I'm always wanting to say, you ain't seen nothing yet. It's just that energy of greater presence for those of you that are resonating with this message. And there is I'm wanting to encourage you that maybe your old self would have shirked from that in terms of, oh no, please don't ask me to be seen. Please don't ask me to do that. I just don't think I can. It's like, or it could be at a very extreme degree. I'm not saying this is you, but it could be some of you. It's extreme victim energy. I can't. I'm just like this little mouse. Can I just go and hide under the duvet for the rest of my life? Hello, no. This is 2025. We are in the middle of a great big massive awakening. No, you can't. That's the old self talking. The new self comes onto the pitch and it's like a bit strutty, you know. It has to let go of its ego as well. You know, there's no place for ego. But equally, to get yourself onto the pitch and to believe that you can do it, we all have ego. There also needs to be a bit of, even if it's a bit of bravado, which is like, I am here and I'm going to try and, you know, test out my new, I don't know, abilities, or just allow the world to see the qualities that I have, you know, the energy that I am able to emit, what I can do. This is what I can do. So just note, as I'm talking to you here, where you feel you are, you know. Do you feel as though you need a bit of help with getting yourself out there? I also think this is so tied in to, for want of a better word, spiritual war that we're having, the dark versus light, all of that that's going on in our planet. It's as though, does it not make sense actually that of course we need to be stepping into who we are now and owning it as light workers and powerful warriors of the heart. And if there's any part of us which is like, I'm worried about what, you know, that person down the street's going to think of me, or, you know, what if they see what I've done online or I've said something, you know, it's like, that has to be, there's a suspense of, that is being suspended, and there's this new version of you coming in, which is just much more confident and empowered. More than anything, it's about empowerment. It's not ego, it's empowerment, okay? And it's interesting, actually, this thing about, I was getting the body language of like strutting. Empowerment versus ego can be very easily misunderstood, because only you know whether you are doing it from your heart or not, although other people will sense it actually. I definitely feel as though also this lunar eclipse is going to be highlighting to us, it's like the scales are going to be falling from our eyes in terms of those who actually are authentic and genuine and doing work for the right reason and actually trying to get us to a place of new earth and unity, and those who just want to keep us in separation and division. And I think you've really got to be very brutally honest with yourself with regards to, is this helping move us towards unity, or is this helping to keep us in division? And that is by our actions, our thoughts, and our deeds. Yeah. Okay. Let's pull another card from this deck. I mean, actually, I'm looking at the one on the bottom of the deck, which is self-reflection. I love that as well. I mean, what a perfect deck this is, actually. Oh, and that one. Okay, let me just go through them one at a time. Wow, wow, wow. I mean, this deck could not be any better. My God, my God, my God. I just get excited when all the synchronicities happen like this. I'm talking about two different versions of ourselves. Look at the card that's on the bottom of the deck. It's two different people looking at themselves in a mirror, but they are holding each other's hand. Yes, they're holding each other's hand because they belong to each other. They are each other. They are mirrored representations of each other. And they're looking in the damn mirror. And look at it. I mean, just look at it. It's exactly what I have been saying in this video up to now. One of them is walking away. She's walking away. Okay, she's had her time on the pitch. She's played her part in the game. And the other one is coming in. The other one is coming in. Self-reflection. It's a card of self-reflection. But I definitely feel as though it's very, very important that we honour our past selves. That we don't judge where we may feel as though we haven't been able to create a breakthrough, or we might not have been able to have healed something, or left something or done something. There's no place here for judgment. There is a place at the table for loving appreciation of all that we've done that has got us to this part of the chessboard, as it were. And I do feel actually that this swapping out, this exchange, I don't know what I'm going to call this video, is for those that have done the work, okay? But I do think I've got a very mature spiritual audience here. Even if you've only just found me and you think you know nothing, you know a lot, because otherwise, I'm not being funny, but you wouldn't be here, okay? There's lots of channels that cater just to, maybe gossip and lower end stuff. Even if I look at something in the news here on this channel, I will always bring about a deeper truth to it. And those of you that have been with me a long time know that of me. That's what we do here. It's a high frequency on this channel. Not just this channel, lots of other people doing the work as well, of course. Lots of great channels out there. The other card that we've got here is the Void, next to Creation, and then we've got the card of Change. These cards are just completely backing up what I've already said. This could be a card which is Pregnant Pause. Okay, Pregnant Pause, where you feel as though nothing is happening. Is anybody on the board? Is anybody at home? Am I even here? I feel as though I'm here, but I'm not here. It's like I want to participate, but I also can't be bothered. It's like I'm waking up, but I'm not really feeling as though I am part of this life. It's like a disconnection. In a way, we have been disconnected a little bit from the board because it's about to be severed. And there's this new version of us is coming online. Really interesting. So we have the Void. But this is also the moment with the eclipse where it goes, dark or blood red. And this definitely feels as though we need to rest through the weekend. So try not to do too much. I mean, some of you I know will be working very hard and there's nothing you can do about that. But, wherever you can, try to rest. And I know often with moon and lunar eclipses, sleep is the last thing. It just goes out of the window because you can't sleep. But even if you're just lying in bed and trying to, what I do a lot, I did it last night actually, I couldn't get to sleep. I was doing alternate nostril breathing, that, where you breathe in you breathe in through one nostril and then you breathe out through the other nostril. And it just helps to balance the body and get yourself into a place where maybe you could do some meditation or self-healing. But there's also this thing about breath work coming up. This is really interesting. They say when you get a message 3 times, take notice of it. I think this is all tied into this message because what is breath? Breath is life. The baby is born. The first thing that they wait for is the breath, the cry, And if it doesn't do that to start with, everyone is like, oh my God, is the baby okay? And it might be seconds and then suddenly there's a cry. Life has arrived. In the same way when somebody dies, the last breath, they've left, but they've gone on to the next life, of course. So breath is coming up, linked into all of this. So those of you that do breath work, very powerful weekend to do that. But this is the thing that I've had 3 times. It's stupid. The first thing is a bit silly. I was aimlessly scrolling, I have to be honest, putting my hand up the other day. I think I was on X, and there was a video of this guy, I think he was in China, and don't ever do this for God's sake. What a ridiculous thing to even show online. But he super glued his lips together, yeah? He was like cocky and like young and like, oh yeah, this is going to be great for TikTok. He super glued his lips together. Now, super glue is quite strong. Of course, as soon as he does it, he can't get his lips open. And the panic in his eyes, because obviously he can only breathe through his nostrils, And even if you can breathe quite freely through your nostrils, if suddenly you're told you can't breathe through your mouth, there is like a panic that rises up. So I hope to God somebody managed to unglue his lips. But anyway, I kept thinking about that because I've always had an issue. Ever since I was a little girl, when I went into hospital and had my adenoids out, my tonsils out when I was about 7, I suppose because maybe I couldn't breathe through my nose. I remember I breathed through my mouth a lot. So I at night time, I breathe through my mouth. And even when I was giving birth, sorry, this is all relevant. It's not just me going off on one. Even when I was giving birth, there's the whole thing about breathing helps you to birth the baby. I could never do the breathing exercises. It almost induces a bit of panic. As soon as I become aware of my breath, I start to panic. So this guy on TikTok, it was like, that was my worst nightmare. It's like suddenly, you can't breathe through your mouth and you've only got your nose. And what happens if you can't then breathe through your nose and you're all blocked up? Well, Stephen Bartlett, Diary of a CEO, he's just had somebody on his show who talks about how fundamentally important it is that you do breathe through your nostrils, and that actually if you breathe through your mouth a lot of the time, particularly at night, it can lead to all sorts of problems in later life. So I'm like, oh my God, I've got to get on top of this. So anyway, feels like it's an important message for me, if not anybody else. But I'll link the video below. I haven't watched it all yet, Stephen's video, but there's definitely something here about breath work. So even if you can't sleep through the lunar eclipse or through moon phases, just try to practice, for example, alternate nostril breathing, or become aware of your breath. Try to steady your breath. Get control of your breath, because at the end of the day, if you can't get control of your breath, you can't get control of life. And I say that as somebody who absolutely suffers from anxiety from time to time, never had full-blown panic attacks, but lots of you I know do have things like that. That's all about the breath, isn't it? So just bringing that in. And at this point, let's bring in the air spray. Okay. The air element, because this one actually says, can you see that? It says, breathe, breathe. And I've said to you for a number of years, this used to be the least popular spray that we sold, and it's got nothing wrong with it. It smells amazing, and it's like the whole world doesn't know how to breathe, and equally, we feel as though we can't breathe. It feels as though the walls are closing in on us, or because we don't understand maybe these changes that are happening in our world and in our own lives, or even if we do understand it, it's still hard to navigate it. So let's just take a breath together now before we move on. Okay, so this is the air elemental. So focus on your breath, yes, but also become aware of your lungs. Become aware of the miracle, actually, of being able to breathe. Give gratitude for that first breath that you ever took. Give gratitude for how easy it is to breathe. For those of you that struggle to breathe with regards to illness or some physical ailment, send the energy of healing to your lungs. Equally, the energy of the lungs, I want to just put a little bit more over mine. The lungs carry the energy of grief. So this lunar eclipse, let us ask Archangel Metatron to safely help us let go of the grief that we are carrying. From this lifetime, from previous lifetimes, grief in any form, just asking for healing for our lungs. I'm now being shown the lungs of the planet, and for healing for our skies, for our trees, for our vegetation, but for the trees that are the oxygen of the planet. Giving thanks for that. Okay, so you can see, just really important just to honour this part of the body, our lungs, the gift of our breath, to never ever take it for granted. Okay, so what follows the void, the lunar eclipse? What follows is the energy of creation, but it comes with change, and we've got thunder moon, which implies that the change might be quite rapid, different. I mean, if you think about what I've said previously in this video about a new version of you coming online, getting used to what does that feel like? What does that feel like to go out there and be able to do life in a way that maybe I haven't felt like I've been able to up to this point? I'm also feeling as though we have to give ourselves permission for that. But this new you in town that comes in around equinox, but I'm now being shown the Easter corridor as well, because Easter's really powerful this year, tied into so much. I mean, it's always tied into a lot, but, you know, persecution energy coming up so strongly in our world, and sending prayers to the Christians being persecuted in Syria, and also the I haven't got the name of the Islamic sect that is also being persecuted in Syria, but I'm aware of the Christians, for example. But any religious persecution is, of course, wrong in our world. But I'm just bringing in the Easter corridor as well. It's all linked into this change. So put it this way, my friends. If you've resonated with what I've said here, and if it feels like truth, if it doesn't, forget about it. But if it feels like truth, it feels like truth to me, it feels like it's true to what's happening in my life, and you can at least acknowledge that there is an old version of you going offline and a new one wanting to come on. In fact, this new version has been pacing up and down the lines thinking, for God's sake, when's the old Amanda going to go offline? You know, the new one wants to come on, etc. That is a lot. That is a lot. And what I mean by that is then look at how crazy the world is. And can you see how distracted everybody is by, oh my God, this has happened, that's happened. Let it play out. Let it play out. Doesn't mean you have to agree with it. Doesn't mean you can't disagree with it. It just means that the world is going to keep turning with or without you. That's the truth of it. If you drop down dead tomorrow, or if I did, the world would still keep turning. There would still be the craziness going on in various countries, etc. But what you would have lost is your opportunity to hone yourself and evolve yourself to the degree that you are able to in this life, so that you can then affect the change that needs to happen. Yeah. So it really is very much about you and your life here. Right. How are we doing? 37 minutes. Well, that's nothing for me. I've still got a little bit of energy here, so let's just see where else we want to go. I realise now, I know you can't see it here, but beside me I've got a little grid set up which just helps me to welcome in energies when I do a video. And I've actually got quite a few of the goddess energies out. I've got the energy of Isis and Diana. Diana, obviously the moon goddess, but this one is about focused intention. And we've got Isis, which is to do with magic manifesting. So let's just see if we can get a message from these two. And I think I will start off with Diana, the goddess Diana, focused intention. And I think to help bring her in, I'm going to spray the moon magic spray. I haven't shown this, I don't think, yet in this video. I can't remember how I started off. This is our new spray. It's called Moon Magic. It's got silver and blue, beautiful colours. It shows a little boy sitting on the, or looking up at the moon. And there's a channeled message that goes with it, which you can read in my shop. But effectively, what the channeled message is about is not losing that childlike curiosity and sense of wonder. If you've ever had children, the period where they just keep asking why the whole time seems to go on for a long time. You know, why is the sky blue? Why is this? And we lose that. We lose that inquisitiveness, that curiosity. We just start to play a stale game, actually. We carry on doing the same moves we've always done. Whereas the child wants to always keep shaking it up and go new places, and will see something extraordinary and something very everyday, you know? So more than anything, I feel as though this moon magic spray it's helping you to Yes, connecting to the energy of the moon to help you release what needs to be released. And here we're talking about the old version of you, to welcome in the new, but also to do so from almost like that childlike sense of wonder, that childlike sense of wonder that still exists within you, that came here full of enthusiasm, full of ideas, believing that you could take on the soul contracts that you've taken on, whether that be a difficult relationship, whether it be a particular pattern, whether it be about healing, I don't know, something in the ancestral line, whether it be with regards to something that you are offering Mother Earth and humanity. And you came in like the child, which is like, yes, I can do that. Yes, this is absolutely what I'm signing up for. Yes, I don't mind if this happens to me or that happens to me, because I know it's for my own growth. And then we get here and we're like, oh my God, we forget all of the excitement and the anticipation of arriving. It's like, get me to Mother Earth. And then we just lose that. So this also helps to bring the magic back. So let me spray this before I link into Diana, actually, although I've got the energy of Diana here and it just feels as though it's so much also to do with child rearing and childbirth and raising children, but it's also about raising the child within ourselves. Okay, so this is the Moon Magic Spray. I will put the link below. And the oils within this one, I will just say what the oils are, if I can remember. Let me just get it up here. White lotus, star anise, neroli, eucalyptus, and myrrh. And we actually, because we always put crystal essence into these sprays as well, it actually has got the crystal essence is made with that piece of real moon rock, the piece of moon meteorite that I got, that I've shown many times before in my videos, that is a certified piece of the moon, with also pearls moonstone, black moonstone, labradorite moon, selenite moon, goddess spirit quartz, and amazes. So I think this is a spray that I'm going to probably show quite a lot in videos going forward, because we have 2 moons a month. This is one to help you release at a full moon, to welcome in at a new moon. And more than anything, this lunar eclipse, it's saying, it feels like powerful medicine to help us, where's the card gone? To help us do this, to make the change, to make the shift, to welcome in that new aspect of self. Okay, let's go to Diana. This is the goddess Diana. Okay, so let's just take a look at her there. And let's see anything else wants to come through from Diana. And I'm going to tune into the skull here, which just acts a bit like a library. And if I just ask it to help me tune into Diana's energy, please. Anything that wants to come through for this lunar eclipse. Okay. So I'm hearing time to fly. She's reminding us of the seasons and the cycles, the periods of growth, and the periods of quietness. We're entering a period of growth, and the time is ripe for new beginnings to be revealed soon. And for this to be manifested to the degree that is optimum, that the field needs to be cleared of all the weeds. So she's showing me a field, and it needs to be not only cleared of the weeds, but to be furrowed. And again, it's the energy of the pregnant pause. Then there is this energy of the field that has to lie fallow for a little, I think that's the right expression, fallow for a little while. But then it's for the new seeds to come in. But I don't think it's like a year this field is lying with dormant. It's just being shown it's like the ingredients that go into making the cake, and the new cake is you. Okay, so Diana, the goddess Diana. Okay, so she's stepping forward, and more than anything, there is a gift of helping us to align and attune and become and accept and integrate the archetypal energy that she carries. And there is an energy coming through here of accepting in the energy of grace and honor, nobility nobility linked into duty and caring for a community, for a people, taking them under your wing. This might be your family, could be a child, could be your town, could be community in any form that you can think of. But more than anything, I'm just feeling her energy of elegance and grace and poise and strength and resilience and lineage, from the lineage of Diana, that we all have that if we want to tune into that. Foresightedness. There's just this energy of queendom, sovereignty, respect, holding the energy of respect in your energy field. Why would you not be respected? Why would you not be admired? Why would you not be listened to? Why would you not be heard? Why would you not be present? Why would you not be seen? Why would you not be seen? Powerful energy. She's inviting you to hold it, to welcome it in, to stand underneath the moonlight and to feel her, to welcome her into your heart, to welcome her into your home, to welcome her into your clan, that she's on your side. Okay, I'm going to step out of that and I'm going to step into the energy of Isis. And I'm going to use the moon spray again, just to, because the moon is about illumination. What is hidden can be revealed. So what is hidden in the shadows, the Isis energy, the goddess Isis. Let's see what her energy feels like. Welcoming in the energy of Isis. 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 Has many forms, many qualities. For some reason, I feel her energy like it's as though it's revolving. And there is one aspect that can be seen, and then it revolves and it shows another aspect. So I myself have often called her and tuned into her and asked for her guidance with regards to my home, my family, and helping with responsibilities and duties there. And yes, she can do this. And yes, she is there for that. But the aspect that I'm tuning into her with today feels more like a warrior-ess. She's a warrior. It's like a warrior energy. Looking out for you. The energy a bit like a hawk. I'm seeing the eye of Horus foresightedness, wisdom, knowingness, sinking into knowingness. The eye, the third eye, developing the third eye, calling in Isis to develop the third eye, to see, to know, to understand, to inspire, to highlight, to clarify, to learn, to learn, to learn, to learn about ourselves, to learn about each other, to learn about the cosmos, to learn about the world, to learn, to learn, to learn, to widen our horizons, to open our mind, to open our eyes, to learn. And this feels as though it is from the past, the present, and the future. To not take things at face value, to not just accept blindly, to research, to look, to deeply look. Do this, my child. Thank you, Isis. As the clock strikes 12. We've got Cinderella about to come in as well. Oh, yeah, funny, of course. Cinderella, how perfect. I'm making a joke, but actually, yes, that is what it is. It's as though we're turning from cinders in rags to Cinderella, to Cinderella. The fairy story can come true. The version of us that wants to come through the door as the clock strikes 12, is that a more enlightened version of us? And she's able, or he's able, to carry so much more and want to know more with enthusiasm. And it feels great. It feels great. Right. I think we're nearly there. I'm going to put my skull back there. The other thing to say is that the other energies that we've got in town, this card was out as well, which is the card of beauty. So just reminding you to look for beauty. That's very Virgo, isn't it? Well, I've got Venus in Virgo, so I'm all about that. Liking refinement and elegance and things that are graceful and that look just nice. So I would like to think that this full moon in Virgo, what I'm being told is that however ugly it looks out there, okay, in the collective, and however ugly other people are in terms of how they're behaving, don't drop to that level. Remember to aspire to the two energies that were just here. The energies of grace, the energies of beauty, the energy of divinity more than anything. Because divinity is seeing the beauty in all things. All things. God sees beauty in all things. And that can be triggering for us at a human 3D egotistical level. But if we look at it through God's eyes, God saw what he had created and it was good. Something like that. Creation. Okay. Feel like I just want to end with one other energy. Let's go to this deck. This is a nice deck. This is The Secret Language of Light by Denise Jarvie. So for the lunar eclipse, full moon in Virgo. Final thing to say, please. All right, really important, grounding. Okay, we've also got You Are the Universe on the bottom of the deck, but grounding. Okay, look at this. everything I've been talking about so far, you know, we need to be grounded. It's a bit like in 2012 when I first came onto YouTube, and it was all the time of, you know, people were expecting, you know, fifth dimensional consciousness just to arrive overnight, and were we still going to be here, you know, in the morning, you know, that type of thing. Yeah, you're still going to be here in the morning. Just because this exchange takes place, you know, let's be grounded about it. This is the analogy Metatron's giving me. Thank you, Metatron. It's a very grounded reality. I'm no biologist, but I do understand that apparently, don't quote me on this, it's something like every 7 years or something, the cells within our body regenerate. It might be much quicker than that, I really can't remember, but it's literally as though there are cycles that happen within the body where it's almost like the liver that you had that existed 7 years ago isn't the same liver that you've got now. It's like the cells just completely regenerate themselves. Effectively, that's what this is. It's like a regeneration moment. It's like a Doctor Who moment. You know, Doctor Who is still Doctor Who. Whatever they actually do to him, you know, he's still Doctor Who. He's still the Doctor. He's still the Time Lord. You are the Time Lord. You happen to look like this today. You're still going to look like this after Easter. It's just within you, there is going to be massive regeneration. And the way it's been explained is literally like the old you has left the pitch, the new you has come in, okay? But it needs to be grounded, okay? So very important during these times that you ground yourself for this light that wants to come in. And the way that you do that is obviously through Mother Nature, but also I'm wanting to say through the breath. We've got the tree there with the light, but through nature, through the breath, through the elements. Make sure that you stay grounded during these days. And as I've said before, try not to get too distracted by every single thing that's happening out there. There's a huge transformative process happening within you, and that requires a lot of honouring, a lot of being present, and also a lot of gratitude, really, for what is to come. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it there then for now. Thank you for listening. I'll put the details of the decks that I've used below. I'll put the details of the new moon spray below. We've touched the surface really with regards to what this can do, but it's a great spray, and have a look at that if you feel called to. Please give me a little like if you've enjoyed the video, and I will be back very soon. If I've got the energy, I might try and do a twin flame video for around this eclipse period, because that's all bubbling up as well. I really feel that I want to do that as well. So could you just hear that I was shuffling the cards? It's on the bottom of the deck. Soul mating. Soul mating. Yeah. I think I will do that. So anyway, that's for another time. But thank you very much for all of your support. Lots of love. See you soon. And I appreciate you being here. Have a good lunar eclipse. Have a good full moon in Virgo. And lots of love. Bye-bye for now. Bye.